Present my how to set up a hydroponic grow tower. The interesting part is I needed a photo to start, and I was shocked that my Copilot AI created this image. So we're going to start with me with a basic setup, and then there'll be a bit of narration at the end for the information that I might have missed during the videotaping.
Now.
Okay, perfect. So today we're starting our seeds for the grow tower. You will notice that our grow tower has grown, actually, funny, from last year, because we now have this cage. We shall adjust that piece. So the cage is actually designed for more structure for vegetables like tomatoes. We've never done that before. So we got that from our Nourish to Flourish grant, if anybody wants to get extra money. But unfortunately, we're now at the end of October and we don't have time, right? So we have time to grow green leafy vegetables and be able to harvest and everything else just before Christmas. We're going to use it for our Christmas dinner and then send you guys home with lots of great leafy greens. So today we're going to start the seeds. You guys get your choice. Okay? So we got lots of little greens. We've got basil. We've got a gourmet lettuce blend. So it's a bit of like Russian roulette. You don't actually know what you're going to get out of these. However, you'll have different lettuces. We have a Bib lettuce. We have kale. We have arugula. And if anybody's been here before, we know that arugula is our funny one that likes to bolt really quick. So you got to pick it fast. And we're going to try a new one. I put garlic chives in here today. So that's new. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be starting with this stuff here that's been soaked in water. It's totally saturated. And it's called, anybody want to know? It's called rock wool. Because it's literally made like wool, like fibrous, out of volcanic rock. For people who have texture issues, this may be a problem, okay? Because it's kind of gross and it doesn't feel great. So you'll notice some of them have holes. Okay, those are the easy ones. And then some of them do not have holes. How do we do that? We grab the end of our marker, no matter what marker, and you're going to create holes. Boop. Look, can't even tell. What are you making that face for?
That noise.
Oh, I know. That's what I said. And when you touch, it's not going to feel great. The other thing we like to do is we like to label it. Okay, you'll notice there's some labels on this. Just cross it out, and we're going to put the new labels on it because when they start growing into little sprouts, you can't really. They all look the same sometimes, right? Until we transfer it into there. And when we do transfer it, we're going to make another video for that. We want our sort of plants that are going to be bigger at the bottom. So our Swiss chard, we want on the bottom, and stuff like basil maybe at the top because it's not usually as big. So how are we going to do that? I'm going to start with the Bib lettuce. Nope, that's kale. We'll go with Bib lettuce. You're going to notice that they're super, super, super teeny tiny. Okay, yeah, like you can see that, at least like this tiny. Okay, so you are going to grab, let me do a close up. You're going to grab about 3 or 4 of those seeds. Okay, so I've got double here. So I've got enough for 2 pods. Okay, and you're going to put it into the little tops there. Okay, so I've got 2 holes done. We're going to do all the holes, and then we're going to top it up with vermiculite. Put a pause on that. Good to go? Mm-hmm. All right, so then we're going to take some vermiculite, okay, which is fun to say. You just say vermiculite. It feels better than that stuff, but it also has texture issues if you have texture issues. And you're going to top it up. What is this going to do? It's going to keep those little seedlings moist in there and keep it in contact with the water, which is what we want to do. So you guys are going to fill these up. We're going to close the lids. We're going to actually put it in the back. We're not going to put it in the window. Why? Because we actually don't want it to start bolting up top. That's how you get sometimes those plants that are all like tall and lanky and have no strength. We don't want that. We want to start them in the dark. We want them to grow, and in about a week, we're going to transfer them. That's it. There we go.
Done.
Okay. Okay, so here we are. It's probably been about 2 weeks. We really probably should have transplanted last week, but sometimes in schools things get pretty busy. So you'll notice our rock wool is containing all the moisture. It's nice and wet. Our seeds were transplanted under that vermiculite. The vermiculite is fantastic because it will keep the moisture. It acts a little bit like soil in that it keeps it moist, and it doesn't grow fungus on it, which is sometimes a problem when you're starting seeds. So we've got 2 trays, and we're gonna now divvy up we're just gonna break them apart. In fact, I'll do one right now. No, I won't. I'm gonna get Melissa to hold. Oh, there we go. I got a volunteer, student volunteer. So I'm gonna take one of these, and you can tell that we have some beautiful Swiss chard. And the Swiss chard came up fantastic. So they're square, and we know that Swiss chard tends to be a pretty big plant. So we're gonna actually put that in the bottom of our garden. And I'm just gonna grab a little basket. And yep, we have a square thing going into a round peg, but that's kind of what alt ed is all about. And you're just gonna put it in. So we're going to transplant, and I'm gonna get my students to do that. We're not gonna put that on camera, and then I'll talk a little bit about that after. Okay, perfect. So I've had all our students transplant the little seedlings into our hydroponic tower. I had a senior student who's been here forever, and she's filled up the bottom. So every hydroponic tower is a little bit different. This one is from Juice Plus, and we've got the bottom fills about 13 gallons of water. And do not ask why. The measurements are, when we start the seedlings, 10 mils per gallon. As a science teacher, I kind of go, what? Why are we mixing units? However, that's what the measurement is. Pretty easy when you've got 10 mils to a gallon. We've got 13 gallons to start. In the beginning, it's not going to use a lot of water. We don't have to replenish that probably for the next couple of weeks. As the plants get bigger, clearly it's going to use more resources, so we're going to have to put more water. So we're going to plug this in. And we want definitely the seedlings to have some water going on now. We're going to put on our light. The light is also on a timer, so right now it's in the dark. And we're going to plug in. Okay, so if you can see this, it comes with a timer, and it's got O for outside or I for inside. So inside it runs every 45 minutes for 5 minutes, and if you have it outside, it runs more frequently and runs longer, but we've got it for the indoor setting. Okay, and I'm just going to start it. We've got it on the eye, and we've got the indoor setting. I am going to throw the lights on now. You can set the lights on the timer here. And again, they give you instruction. Every timer is going to be different. Every hydroponic tower is different. And the LEDs are going to come on, assuming we can get that to go. There we go. And it's beautiful because it feels like we've got some nice daylight in here. Pretty bright, because that's how miserable November looks. So we love having the tower up in November where we've got daylight in the front office. There we go. So this is where I have to cheat a little bit because we had to jump ahead a few weeks of growth. This is what our grow tower looked like in the spring after actually several harvests. So just a few sort of tidbits on your hydroponic tower. Number one is that you will be harvesting for a good 3 to 4 months if you're lucky. The kale seems to last forever. You just cut and serve. It's fantastic. It's a great way to bring nutrition and nutrition conversations into your classroom. As through my posts, you'll notice that I am quite a big advocate on food security and food security issues. Nothing better than having your own students create their own pick their own green leafy greens for a salad buffet. The other thing I failed to mention is in your nutrient solutions. So with the Juice Plus, it comes with the tower. You can replenish it, you can buy at any hydroponic store, is the nutrient solutions that's going to contain everything that your soil doesn't. Because really, it is just water. You can't grow things on water. You can start your seeds with it because the seeds contain all the nutrients in it, but you certainly cannot maintain plant growth with that. So the nutrient solution will contain your things like potash, your potassium, your magnesium, your calcium, which are all sort of precursors to, photosynthesis and photosynthesis production. We don't actually cover that in any of the programming that I do at the alt ed school, but as certainly you can expand if you've got an SBI 3C or 3U, and if you've got a green industry that is grade 11 or 12 at perhaps the M/U/C levels. So I just want to point that out. The other thing that I didn't do is we test for pH, and that is something we only do after the plants are established. We've been very lucky because we've been doing this for several years now. Our pH tends to stay within the allocated sort of like 7.2-ish area, which is fantastic for green growth. You will know for sure if you have a pH problem because your plants don't look green. They've got a bit of a yellowish tinge to it, and then you should be checking your water, making sure everything's okay. The other last thing that I should address is sometimes you do get pests indoor, which is not very often, but it does happen. And so what we've got is a little spray bottle with a couple drops of eucalyptus oil in it with water. So it smells like a spa when you're done spraying, but it tends to keep any little pests or like little gnats in check. Honestly, it's a great project, and there's lots of YouTube videos out there on how to create your own grow tower. We just happen to be lucky that we got one with our new site, and yeah, the kids love it. And like I said, we usually do a fall growth and a spring growth, and then we have to take it down in June. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and looking forward to seeing everybody else's.